Hey everybody, Gonzo here. I wanted to get this video up yesterday, but I had shit to do and, shit happens. Anyway, this was a talkative chapter, but very informative. So let's just get right to it.
I'm fresh. You gotta be fresh.
So the first thing we see is Erwin and Pictius talking about the scouting regiment's plan to overthrow the king. We got a glimpse of the king last week, and he looked rather drunk or despondent, or maybe a little bit of both. After hearing Erwin's arguments, perhaps it's easier to see why the king just seems so out of it. At the beginning of their little meeting, Pictius voices his concerns that any uprising will lead to violent revolutions, but not from the regular citizens. Rather, the upheaval will come from the upper classes. The lower classes, on the other hand, have not even tried to fight back against higher taxes, maltreatment, or even the suicide mission to reclaim food from Wal Maria a few years prior. In fact, they seem rather complacent, which reminds me a lot of the anime's first opening and its lyrics. The lyrics mention being complacent and having a livestock mentality or something along those lines. Perhaps it's hinting that many people have grown accustomed to being nothing more than expendable cattle. A source of wealth for the nobility and food for the Titans. Despite Pictius' argument against a revolution, Erwin explains that he has no plans for violence. Well, at least kept down to a minimum. Erwin explains the circumstances of his father's death and the first seeds of his suspicion. While at school, young Erwin noticed some contradictions in the government-issued textbooks regarding times before the Walls and before the Titans. After class, Erwin's father, who also happened to be his teacher, gave Erwin his knowledge. Later, Erwin told all of his friends what he was told. Some soldiers got wind of it, and the military police 1st Brigade murdered Erwin's father. Thanks to his research, it's pretty much confirmed that the Titans are actually people, and the walls are made from Titans. How this happens, we still don't know, but I believe Erwin knew exactly what he was doing while trying to capture Annie. Also, we can assume Grisha learned the secret. Erwin and Pictius realized the government wanted to use Eren's voice to control Titans, thereby ensuring their safety and wealth, as opposed to killing him in the name of safety as previously predicted.
Right! I don't believe you.
While some readers and anime viewers believe Attack on Titan is an action series, it's actually more of a conspiracy piece wrapped in mystery. With plenty of action to keep us all entertained, of course. The scene jumps over to Sanas of the 1st Brigade being tortured by Hanji and Levi. While Levi has proven he can deliver a savage beating, just ask Eren, I would be more terrified of Hanji if I was him. Levi has no real emotions in the matter, or any situation now that I think about it, but Hanji has a real beef with him. Sanas tortured and killed her friend Pastor Nick. She is out for revenge and has plenty of experience working on gruesome experimentations on living organisms. In this series, revenge is an overriding theme. Eren wants revenge for his mother, Erwin wants revenge for his father, Hannes wanted revenge for failing to save Eren's mother, Eren's new motivation is revenge for Hans, Mikasa wanted revenge for Eren being eaten, the list goes on and on. It's revenge that carries our heroes throughout this series, and it's revenge that pushes them over the edge to do things they fear, but must be done. Without vengeance, people become like regular citizens and grow content with being everybody's whipping boy. So then the scene jumps to Eren and the gang in a room accompanied only by the sound of Sanas' screams. We hear some strategic advice from Armin to get the people on their side, but his plan requires to do horrific things. After realizing what must be done, he shakes it off, and the others, Jean in particular, question his state of mind. So then we go back to Sanas receiving the beating of his life, where he confesses to committing atrocities to, quote, keep the peace. While he claims they keep the peace, we know from Erwin that they're really just out to maintain their lavish lifestyle. And I love the artwork of Isayama here, the greedy mouths reminiscent of Titans. The poor will be devoured by either the Titans or the wealthy. That gives us insight as to what happened to Grisha. It would appear that he was not actually killed by Eren, but perhaps went into hiding because the 1st Brigade is looking for him. Anyway, Sanas lists some of the atrocities he's committed, including killing Erwin's father and Historia's mother, as well as anybody that posed a threat, or anybody that had the ability to leave, because less people behind the walls means less money. Simple economics. By hindering the people's ability to develop new technology, it all but sealed the fate of the poor within the walls. Then things get fun when Levi inquires about Historia's family. Levi commits an interrogation no-no and asks several questions before waiting for a response. Before he has a chance to answer, Hanji pulls out one of his teeth for stalling and Levi scolds her. You know, I never would have suspected Levi would play the good cop. Sanas blurts out through the pain that he still believes he did the right thing for mankind by serving the king. His belief drove him to commit terrible, bloody acts. As Hanji and Levi leave the room, he silently pleads with his comrades to protect the king and the walls from the forthcoming war. His resolve is shattered when one of his beloved comrades, Ralph, bashes his belief of the king. The next day, Hanji and Levi return in a truly terrifying manner. This scene looks like it could come straight out of the slasher films like Saw or Hostel. Very badass if I do say so. After threatening his testicles, Sana spills the beans. The Rice family is the royal family, and Erwin's plan for his coup d'etat is to get Historia to ascend the throne. I don't know about you guys, but I love this chapter. We finally got some answers and have a clear understanding of Erwin's vision. All that remains is to get the nitty-gritty details to the answers we do have, and watch the plan fall into place. Let me know what you guys thought about Chapter 55 while we wait for the next one. Until then, who do you trust?